and welcome to Magellan Minutes. I'm Nadine Blaney. Well, everyone watching today uses search in almost every aspect of their daily life to navigate the world. But the good old search box is undergoing a significant change, the most significant change in the past 20 years. So joining us today to walk us through those changes and what they mean going forward is Elisa DeMarco from Magellan. And of course, she'll tell us what it means for the world's largest company, or thereabouts, Alphabet. Elisa, welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
So talk to us about the future of search. How is it changing?
Yeah, it's such an important question because I imagine for everyone listening in today, Google and search is something that we interact with many times in our daily lives. So there's two fundamental questions that we really need to answer when we're thinking about what the future of search is. It's, well, how are things changing? How's the competitive environment changing? But then from the investment perspective, we need to be asking the question of, well, how can this be monetized, and is there an exciting investment opportunity that comes through this shift that we're seeing at the moment?
So help us understand it a little better. So how is the way in which we find information fundamentally changing?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we think through our own kind of history in how we've been using search, it's been around 25 years now, which I can't even believe, just to think that at one point in time we were going to the library to find information. We're able to do that now from the palm of our hand or from our desktop computer. And that whole experience has just been improving year after year. And that's very much from innovation, but also optimization that's come through from Alphabet, which is Google. Mm-hmm. Now, whilst they're the dominant player, they've got a 90% market share. I imagine just like, well, why are things changing now? And that's really all come from generative AI. So when ChatGPT launched I believe it was November 2022, they saw the most rapid adoption of a consumer application than we've ever seen before. So it was over 100 million users within a 2-month period. So this rapid adoption has really brought into question, well, how could that potentially change the way that we start to research and use information? So what's important from our lens when we're thinking about this is, well, has anything actually changed on the information that we need, the questions that we need to ask? And fundamentally, that hasn't changed. And what's really interesting here is the way we use Google and the way we use Gen AI are actually really different. So just a few stats for you. So when we're looking at search, around 55% of our search queries are what we would call informational. So that's asking a question of, well, what's the weather in Brisbane today? Mm-hmm. Around 30% of our queries that we put into Google are really directional. So that is asking the question of Australian Museum website. And then it's around 15% that are actually more on the commercial side of things, where we might want to get advice on different hotels that we want in Italy or booking different flights. When you flip to then how you're using Gen AI, it's actually quite different. It's 70% of the prompts that you put into Gen AI are very much about deep research. It's about research assistance or homework assistance. It's only around 30% of those prompts that you're putting in are actually overlapping with the way you search. So they're actually two quite different tools, albeit it's kind of all bucketed into that kind of search and research category.
Fascinating. It's hard to get a grasp of how quickly things have changed since generative AI. So how do we know what the future holds?
It's such an important question. I think really dovetailing from what we just spoke about, I think what's key is that the user intent hasn't changed, and it's just going to be how we use that, be it with Gen AI or with search. And in our perspective, what we expect is going to happen is that you're going to see some form of hybrid over time, and this merging of both Gen AI and search. So increasingly you're going to have more search-like features within Gen AI and more Gen AI like features within search. I think why we have confidence that this is going to continue to happen is because of that, what we're seeing coming out of Alphabet, for example. So last year they launched a product called AI Overviews, and what they're doing there is really providing some of that Gen AI that we love within that informational query that we are using the majority of our search time with. So if we would ask that question of what is the weather in Brisbane, you're then going to get that summary of what the weather is versus here are some links that you could then look at. So what is incredible is that they've had over 1.5 billion users of this new technology technology, which is truly phenomenal.
And where do we see the revenue actually coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. So the search ad revenue we view will continue to be the bedrock of revenue within this future of search space. But there are also additional opportunities that we're really excited about. So we've got the subscription revenue coming from the Gen AI, which we're already seeing with subscriptions with both Gemini and also ChatGPT. We then have the opportunity to have ad revenue within Gen AI. Now, this is a proven model through both search and social media. The final one, the one that I'm probably most excited about, is the agentic AI revenue. So this is where you're going to be able to book a holiday, for example, with giving a few prompts, and the agent is going to go away and find your flights, your hotels, etc., and you then pay commission for the service that's being provided.
Fascinating. But so are you saying that Alphabet will not be disrupted?
So this has been a common concern in the market, that Alphabet's ad revenue could be disrupted by Gen AI. But in our opinion, it's unlikely that Alphabet is going to be disrupted, and that's because we continue to see this innovation coming through from Alphabet, how they're able to transform that bedrock of ad revenue that we mentioned. But even more important than that is that Alphabet has an incredibly diversified business and many parts of its business that has more nascent monetization. So many may not realise that YouTube is actually part of Alphabet, and it has over 2.7 billion users on that platform. It also has Android, which is over 3 billion users. It's one of the three hyperscaler cloud providers, and then it also has Google Docs with over 3 billion users, and Gmail with over 1.8 billion users. And the part of the business we're really excited about is Waymo. So we view in developed markets that Alphabet is the leader on autonomous driving. They're going to be in 10 cities by the end of the year, and they're already doing over 200,000 rides per week. And importantly, in developed markets, they are the safest autonomous driving opportunity.
Yeah, it's amazing. And how about the opportunities in AI?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you asked that. We think that that's going to then be able to almost supercharge all of this diversification within the business. So think of the power of the data that Alphabet has, for example, within its Gmail business. You could then add an AI agent onto that, and it can already see all of my preferences with respect to online shopping and travel, and then going to be able to personalize that experience. And then with respect to YouTube, it's going to be able to use AI to improve the content generation, but also then the editing features that it can offer its content creators. So it's really just at the beginning what Alphabet's going to be able to do with respect to the introduction and inclusion of AI across this range of businesses that have multi-billion users.
It's amazing. You've done well with your crystal ball. But as investors, I mean, wrap it up in a bow for us. What does the future hold for search?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the important thing to remember here is that what we're going to be seeing over time is this hybrid of both search and Gen AI. And it's this continued innovation that we've seen coming through from Alphabet that gives us confidence that it's going to be able to continue to supercharge the diverse platforms that it has through the integration of AI, and really be one of the leaders in the future of search.
Elisa, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Please do share with your clients and your colleagues.